The first thing that I want to do today, well, let me cover that back up a sec. The first thing I want to do is go over the 4 questions from the quiz, because there will be questions on your test like each of these. Then I want to go over the questions that are like these on your pretest together, and then I'll turn you loose on the rest of the pretest and we can work on the answers tomorrow. So, without any further ado, time to go over the quiz. You guys are a little young, but they used to have a commercial on years ago where the guy from Dunkin' Donuts would go, "Time to make the donuts." Anybody remember that commercial? You get up really early in the morning, time to make the donuts. Sometimes you feel like it's time to make the donuts. It just means it's the thing you do for that particular day. All right. Time to make the donuts. Time to push through. First off, what is due on Thursday? Relearn packet. Tonight, Patchogue Medford Library, 5:30. I'll be there. You can come down too. Second, tomorrow morning, 7:35 in the morning. Thursday morning, 7:35. Must be in by then. So many kids say during the course of the year, when they get panicky that their grade might not be good enough to pass, they will say to me, "What can I do for extra help? For extra credit? What can I do for extra credit?" And I will look at them and say, "You had it. You had the opportunity to get extra credit and you didn't take advantage of it." So this is the time. If you're worried about your grade, if you want to make something good happen, this is when you have to make it happen. Okay? Now, question letter A. 4 times x minus 1 equals 16. Letter B. 4n plus 3n minus 8 plus 3 equals 30. So those are the first 2 questions from the quiz, and we're going to go over both of those. The first one, we have to distribute the 4. As soon as I see a number outside parentheses, I always distribute first. Rach, you with me here? Okay. What's 4 times x, everybody? 4x. What's 4 times negative 4? Negative 1. Negative 4 equals 16. Now, let me talk a little bit about showing work. If you do not show work, you are going to lose points. There were some people who got this question right, but they didn't show work. So they lost either 10 or 15, I think 10 points for not showing work. You must show work. We are told when we grade papers for the state that if the question was worth 2 points, you lose 1 point if you don't show work. Right off the top, whether you're right or wrong. If you're wrong, you lose both points. If you're right, you lose 1 out of 2. So I need to see that step where you're distributing. 4 times x is 4x. 4 times negative 1 is negative 4. Now, standard 2-step position here. The numbers are on opposite sides, so I do the opposite operation. Die. 4x equals 20. Divide by 4. X equals 5. And that, to me, is a very routine type of question and should be on a scale of 1 to 5, 5 being the hardest, 1 being the easiest. That is a 1. Everybody should get that right. The only thing on there that I was testing to see if you remembered to do, because I very much expect you to be able to do a 2-step equation, is did you remember to distribute? Okay, so let's get to the next one here. Now, the first question you should ask yourself every time you look at an equation is this a same side situation or an opposite side situation? What is it? Same side. Eventually, it'll boil down to an opposite side, but to start with, it's the same side. Same side? Same operation. So if I have 4 n's and 3 n's, what's 4n plus 3n? Everybody? 7n. Now I have a negative 8 and a positive 3. What's negative 8 and positive 3, everybody? What? It's not negative 8. Negative 8 and positive 3. Negative 5. Good. Equals 30. Now we do the standard 2-stepper. Now it looks like this part going down. Die. 7n equals 35. Divide by 7. N equals 5. And that's my correct answer. Any questions on that? Okay. So those are the first 2 quiz questions. Do we have any issues with those before I go forward? Go ahead. We're good? Okay. So now we get to two questions which are more challenging, but not, I would not put any of them to be in the super, super hard category. I wouldn't call them easy per se, but I wouldn't call them super hard either. I think the second one you probably think is like darn near impossible, but it's actually really easy. And Max, you were so close to getting that last one right. If you'd have taken one more step, you'd have had 100. All right. So we look at this one. A lot of people miss this one. I don't understand why. Take a look at that. Is that a same side situation or an opposite side situation? Opposite. Opposite side? And we always start with the smaller number of y's. What did I say? We always start with the smaller number of the variable. In this case, what did I say? We always start with what? What do we start with every time? All right, let me say it again. Look at me. Spencer, head up off your arm. We always start with the smaller number or the smaller variable. What's the smaller variable, 7y or 5y? 5y. So I do minus 5y. Minus 5y. What do we always start with? That stunk. Hey, head up. What do we always start with? I got 3 or 4 people talking. We'll stay here all day long and we'll do nothing but this. What do I always start with?
The smaller variable.
Much better. See, we could have taken care of that right away. We always start with the smaller variable. Now, remember the importance of showing work. 7y's minus 5y's is 2y plus 4 equals 28. And now, it looks just like a standard two-stepper. Plus 4 becomes minus 4, because I want that letter all by itself. 2y equals 24. Divide by 2. Y is 12. Okay? Now, I don't believe that that's a very hard question. Out of a 5 level of difficulty, this is like a 2, maybe a 3. Somewhere in that range. If it was out of 10, I'd call it a 5 out of 10. 4 out of 10. Now, what's very important to understand is this. We now are going to use the same practices and the same strategy on one that's all letters. But I want to solve for x, which means I want to get x all by itself. So just like over here, it was we want to get the y by itself, and we attacked whatever was plus or minus. I'm going to do the same thing here. That says plus k. What do? Minus k. Caitlin, you with me here? Usually you're much more in tune. Today you're not in tune. You with me? I hope so. Right? I want to see you rock on tomorrow's quiz. Die. Did I touch the tx? No. No. So tx equals g minus k. Let's pause for a second. Let's pause for a second. If I tell you this, if a equals 5 and b equals 2, find ab. What is that? Multiply. Good. What do you get? 10, right? 5 times 2 is 10. So if AB means multiply, what does TX mean multiply? Oh, I'm such an idiot. What does TX mean? Multiply. So what's the opposite of multiply? Division. Just divide by T. And that's it. Your answer is G minus K over T. Now I know it's ugly looking, but that's the answer. Now, hold it. Let's be perfectly clear. I blame the last one on me. Because we didn't always get through this every day. We didn't get as many reps in as I would have wanted to get in. But, yeah, but now what we're in a position where you should be able to look at it and go, okay, now it makes more sense. Now I understand it. There's going to be 1 or 2 on every practice test. There's going to be 1 on every quiz between now and Friday. So by Friday, you should have it down pat. And ultimately, that's what matters. Far more than cookies. Okay? Well, you don't even like cookies. Don't go popping cookies. Food. Feed me. Feed me. Any questions on this? All right. What do you know about tomorrow's quiz compared to today's?
It's going to be the same.
It's going to be the same. Numbers changed. So if you go home, God bless. If you go home and you practice this quiz, you are going to be able to get you're going to be able to know what tomorrow's quiz is like, plus you're gonna help your test grade coming up. I wanna go to here. Number 15, A through D. I want you to do these questions now and work on them. I will go over them in, let's do A and B first, and then I'll do C and D next. So let's do A and B. I want to do those before C and D for people who might watch the video at home. I don't have a way of pausing the video, so I have to let it run. I'll give you guys about 2 to 2.5 minutes to get this done. Okay, go. When you see that number outside the parentheses in letter A, what do you always do? Right? What do you always do, guys? Distribute. If you need to work with the person next to you to help you out a little bit, feel free to do that. Yes. Question? Denise?
Which numbers did you mean for this?
We're going to do A and B at the top, and then on the bottom we'll do C and D in a minute.
Numbers are different. Like right there it says 6, right here it says 3.
Do the numbers on your paper, okay? Yeah, do the numbers on your paper. I will change the ones on the board to match. I don't know why they're different. What's that? I wouldn't go ahead to C and D because we're going to do those as a group in a minute. If you want to go back to the beginning of the test and work on beginning questions, you can do that. Okay, 2 minutes it is. I got the clock on a timer. $105 left. Chris, how's it working out there? Keep going. You done? Okay, keep going. Steven, same with you.
Mr. Winters, what if you weren't here on Friday and you didn't take the quiz on that day?
If you get 2 or more quizzes out of 3, I count it. If it's 1 or less, I don't count it. Unless you want me to. Like if you get 100, I would count it. Sometimes kids get 80s or 90s and they want me to count it.
Can you count it?
If it's a high grade, I'll count it. If it's not, I won't.
Because I wasn't here on Friday.
Mm-hmm. Ten seconds. Time's up. Question?
No,
All right, so we're in, it looks like we had perfect timing there for everybody. All right, so what we're trying to do now is re-emphasize some of the same things we worked on with the quiz questions, okay? Excuse me. When you see a number outside parentheses, what do you always say to yourself? I'm looking for a word that starts with a D. Distribute, good. 6 times W is? 6W. Remember, distribute is multiply. 6 times negative 4 is? 6 times negative 4 is? Negative 24 plus W is 11. Question? Oh, I'm sorry, it's the wrong numbers again. Oh, okay, what was the right numbers?
It's 3 times W.
Plus W?
Plus W. Yeah.
Plus 2W equals?
33.
Okay, so now I distribute the 3 instead. So I get 3W minus 12 plus 2W equals 33. Okay, so what's the next thing you say to yourself? What's the next, Rach? What do we got here? It's the same side. So, Chris, if I have the same side, I do the? Yes, but we call that same side?
Same operation.
Same operation. Very good. And when he says you add, he's exactly right. So 3 W's and 2 W's make 5 W's. I didn't touch the minus 12. Equals 33. What is my next step, Mr. Marco? What do I do now? That's right. Add 12 always to both sides. Okay, die. 5W equals 45. One more step, I finish it off. Gabriella, what's my next step? Remember, equations are always opposites. It's always inverses. What does 5W mean? What operation? Well, it means multiply. So you need to do the inverse, which is to divide. So you divide by 5. W is 9. 9 is the correct answer. Any question on that? Okay. So let's take a look at the next equation. And what do we have here? What does your paper say? 6n
Minus 7 equals 2n minus 15.
minus 15. Okay. So now my job is to go through that step by step. Carmen, you with me here? Okay. What do I always start with? I think we mentioned this before. Remember I said we could stay here all day and do this? It is an opposite side situation, but where do I start? The smaller letters for smaller ends. Very good. Rach, Whitnabin, this says 2n. What do you do?
2n.
Yeah, what with the 2n? What do you do? Somebody help her out. Stephen? Minus 2n. Very good. Die. What's 6 n's minus 2 n's? 4n. Minus 7 equals danger. It's the second most deadly type of equation in the whole world. One little bite from this beauty, you're a goner. Denise, head in the game. Not making the beautiful design. What kind of 15 is this, guys? Negative, so don't forget to put the negative down there. That's a very common mistake that people just put 15. Now I do plus 8. Rach, this is the kind, plus 7. Why did I do 8? Rach, this is the kind of work you need to show on your paper when you take your quiz, right? Die. 4n equals negative 15 and 7 is negative 8. Divide by 4. N equals negative 2.
Oh, negative.
Okay, n is equal to negative 2. Any questions on that? Okay, so to go back over this, we covered a couple of things that were very important. Number outside parenthesis, always distribute. Next, ask yourself, are there variables on the same side? If there are, we do same side, same operation. 3w and 2w make 5w. If there's no distribute, and if there are not variables on the same side, then we look for variables on opposite sides, like we had here with the 6 n's and the 2 n's, and then we do opposite side, opposite operation. Now let's go forward and do C and D. You have a little over 2 minutes to get that done. Go ahead. No. We're going to do these two, and then we're going to do number 16, and then I can worry about the bathroom. Boys, let's go. To work. Come on. C and D.
Can I go? Should I finish mine too?
No, because I'm afraid you won't be here when we go over them. $145. Rach, you're not even working. Come on, let's go. Do you even have a pen in your hand? Oh, a baby one. It'll be a baby. When that grows up, will it be a big pencil? Come on, let's go. Thirty seconds. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. All right, I can tell you what you do on New Year's Eve. You're up late. All right. What do you say to yourself when you look at letter C? Guys, what do you say to yourself when you look at letter C? Come on, talk to me. What are you saying to yourself? Same side. So if it's the same side, what do you do? Same operation. Very good. What's 2 ends plus 2 ends plus 3 ends?
It's not even that.
Oh, it's the numbers again? Ugh.
2n plus 2n
2n plus 2n plus n.
minus 1 plus 7 equals 21.
Okay, so what's 2n plus 2n plus 1n?
5 of them.
5 n's, good. What's a negative 1 and a positive 7?
6.
Positive 6. And this is 21. What's my next step? Minus the 6, right? Die. 5n is 15. Divide by 5. N is 3. Okay? Notice that's a lot like the quiz question. Notice how the quiz supports the test? Yes? Because you keep the sign of the bigger number. I have a negative 1 and a positive 7.
Oh, no.
Okay? Now, what about the next question? What do we have here? What does it say?
It's 5 parentheses 2x plus minus 2 equals 2 parentheses x plus 11.
Okay, so let's work this one through. Ready? I'm going to distribute the 5 because I see a number outside parentheses. That should be automatic. 10x minus 10 equals, distribute again, 2x plus 22. Okay, so I'm going to subtract the 2x. I always start with the smaller number of x's. Die. 8x minus 10 equals 22. What's my next step?
Add 8.
No, not add 8.
No. Add
Add the 10 to both sides. Die. 8x equals 32.
is 4.
Divide by 8. X is
4.
4. Very good. Okay, now we go to number 16. And we get one of these ugly looking ones again. You'll notice it's worth 6 points on your test. So if you can't do this, you're out 6 points. What does it say to solve for? Solve for n. So that means your answer has to look like n equals. Sit down. No, we don't get up in the middle of class. So, and by the way, what does yours say?
Mine is scientific notation.
Oh, yours is scientific notation?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so, you know what? You could just work on the rest of this for the rest of the period, and we'll go over the correct answers tomorrow. I didn't realize I changed the problem from last year. Okay, very good. All righty then. All right, keep working on the rest of your paper. Jerry, you can go, and then when you get back, Angela can go. You better go really fast then. Yes. What's for homework? The packet. Finish the pretest, we'll be checking it tomorrow.